Good morning, everybody, and welcome to not only Fuck Around and Find Out Friday, but it's Fuck Around and Find Out OPEX Friday. So be very aware of that. The reason why I really like sticking the point about F.A.F.O on these end of the weeks is because you don't want to go into the weekend after having just had plethoras of opportunities to make money during the course of the week by forcing a fart and shitting your pants and then having to deal with that psychological warfare all weekend long that you had a shitty trade on a Friday. So trade as you wish. It's still a trading session, but just psychologically protect yourself because there's 250 plus trading days in a year. And as you've already witnessed, I can show you a way that you can get basically 100% on your money, better than 80% of those 250 days. So today's going to be a little bit of a sit and wait. There's not going to be, like I shared for you yesterday, nothing to put on the table for today. We've got PCE, GDP, personal income, all of this data comes out at 8:30 in the morning. And then just after the opening bell, we get the services PMI flash, composite, Bostic speaking, who is quite hawkish. And tentatively, for the 79th time this year, the Supreme Court is possibly going to render an opinion on the tariffs. After that, we get the University of Michigan sentiment, which I can remember. I'm old enough to remember that when the University of Michigan sentiment was below 100, that meant that it was bearish and the market would drop. And here we are with a sentiment of 57. So, go figure. Nothing else for the rest of the day. Nothing whatsoever other than, obviously, Trump travels on Fridays. So at some point during the day, he's going to be going down the catwalk to get onto the plane. And there'll be an interview and he'll be making comments. So be aware of that. But other than that, we're doing quite well. Yesterday, again, it's really understanding the data that you have in front of you, which was why it was easy for me to say, 3 green closes. We're going to be looking for a red close today, and that's exactly what we got yesterday on February 19th. We got a close at 68, 61, 39, 89, basically 20 points lower than where we had closed there on Wednesday. We're back to negative on the year. We're still negative on the month. We've been negative on the month for the past 5 trading sessions. And more significantly, on your spread trade, you had your 68.45, 68.40 for $4, but I saw Jim and a few other guys. You guys got $4.50. And again, that alert went out, which I'll show you here in a second, at $2.50 to just, take your profits because it's time. And the 68.85, 68.80s, which we put out there, going into the opening bell, $2, $2.50, and you got full credit on that, which was never a threat. But yeah, quickly here, like I shared for you on Wednesday, over there at lunchtime, 12:11 on Wednesday, risk takers, 68.45, 68.40 calls, $4 minimum. You can try and get $4.50. And then as we went into yesterday, Thursday, which I hope this works. No, we're still there. Here, yesterday, yeah. Prior to the open, 68.45, 68.40s are down to $3. So for those of you with interactive brokers, very easy to take the trade off. Again, looking for that red close risk, 68.85, 68.80s, $2 what they were priced at the moment. Here's your edges, blah, 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 blah. When I was doing the Walmart email was when we had that VIX 2102 kiss and fall off. So, I didn't get the chance to start screaming and hollering, hey, take your money, take your money. But again, 68.45, 68.40s, $3.50, $4. Again, after that, it would be ideal to get 68.38. 68.08 would really be perfection. We were talking about that at 10:15 in the morning. And then the red close risk trade at 68.85, 68.80s reached up to $2.50. They were down to $1.50 really quick, and as you know, everybody went down. But where are we here? Yeah, right there, the 123 profit-taking alarm on the 68.45, 68.40s. I still like 68.20. But like I shared, 68.62 visit is highly likely, and that's exactly what you wind up getting there at the end of the day. So again, the money is there to be made without a shadow of a doubt. $4, call it $4.50 if you want to. Down to $2.50, call it $3 if you want to. No matter what, it was 100% on your dollar that you risked, or your 50 cents that you risked. Your $2, $3 risk, $2 credit. You got your 67% return on the 68.85, 68.80.
So I was right.
So today is going to be an interesting day. And the reason why I say today is going to be an interesting day is because 1, 2, 3, 4, I see that we've closed above the open 4 times in a row. So for me, personally, I play the video game the way the video game is made to be played. And when I go back through my data, I say, you know what, I got a pretty fucking good chance that I'm going to get a close below the open without even having to look, because I already know what the technicals are. Because I've been watching this stuff for hours and hours on end, that, yeah, I'll take a risk of us closing below where we open. So we'll see what we get when we get the opening bell, and we'll see what the pricing looks like, and we'll see what everything shakes out to be. Because once again, go back to the SPX, I apologize. I do not want us to close below 68.20. I don't want that today. I don't want it only because I don't want it. Because I know NVIDIA is reporting next week, and I see things bigger and much wider than a lot of day traders. But at the same time, coming onto the QQQ, having had 3 red weeks in a row, I do not want to see the QQQ closing below 598.38. I don't want that. In fact, I kind of want to see the QQQ go reach up there to 610. So, that's me. That's what I'd like to see happen today, but we'll see what we get when we get the opening bell and everything going around, because, Jesus, man, this IWM is like a big, huge jar of peanut butter. It doesn't matter how many times you open it, you cannot make a dent in it. And fuck's sakes, man, I got a trade that I'm going to put out for you later on today after the opening bell. 3 green closes in a row this week. Going back 4, if you look back at last week, February 13th on Friday. But this son of a bitch, man. This son of a bitch won't fucking stop. But I do have a trade idea that I'm going to mess around with, and I'm going to send it out after the opening bell. It can be looked at, it can be researched, it can be reviewed, it can be sat upon, because next week is the last week of the month. So quickly, I'll bring you over onto the charts. Walmart. Oh, here you go. The April 17th Walmart 120 puts. Thursday, February 19th. That was yesterday. 9:49 a.m. was when the email went out. 2:32 was what my entry was. Obviously, like I've shared before, I don't practice dropping the soap in prison showers and getting perfect entries. I didn't get the perfect entry. Dropped down below $2 shortly after that. But as many of you already saw, you got greater than 30% on the trade already, which I'll pull up again just because. Why not? And where is that? Yeah, here. The 32 trades entered April 17th into June 18th Walmart 120 puts after they reported earnings yesterday. Bigger, broader, wider picture. It's in the email, and you're pretty familiar with how everything works out. Yesterday's email will kind of be the same as the structure that'll be going out today, because we're basically waiting on data. So let me drop this down, and 0 DTE everywhere. It is 0 DTE everywhere. Every single stock has 0 DTE today. So first and foremost, let's just take a look at what I have down on my bottom right screen. Google trading well below the 50-day moving average up there at 320, but still hugging above that 300. That 300 is still holding. And again, I don't have anything specific on Google that I'd like to share or say, but yeah, I think you're getting a little frothy just from a technical point of view once you start trying to reach into that 310 area. Apple, back down to that 260.10 yesterday. Now, bigger, broader, wider picture, because that Apple trade was issued about a week or a week and a half ago that already went well over 100% when it dropped here at 253.70 last week, or earlier in the week, last week. I'm still looking at that bigger, broader picture of everything, and just so you know, the 200-day moving average is down there at 248.5. Meta, below everybody. Not only below everybody, but holding the 400-day moving average for support here at 634. Now, just think about that. You got 252 trading sessions in a year, and it's supporting on the 400-day moving average. We're going to get to that again in a second here as well with Tesla over on the left. 50-day, 100-day moving average way, way up there in the plus 435 area. Holding the 2025 open right here at 410.79 for the majority of the week with the 200-day moving average down there at 387. And there's some pretty nice pivots that are down in the 387, 365 area, but I see no reason to be aggressive and start looking at that. Here we are with Amazon, who still can't get up off of itself after that big earnings drop. The Trump win, when Trump was announced that he won in 2024, Amazon was 215.90. They closed 2024 at 219.39. Your 50, your 100, your 200, your 20-day, all of this stuff is up here well above 220. Even the 400-day moving average up here at 211. So QQQ is plus 50% from the April lows. And look at all of this shit, which is your big weight. And it's fucking dead. NVIDIA going to be reporting earnings next week, so I wouldn't fuck around too much with it. But me, personally, 188.67, I don't see you getting above that with any kind of glamour. Every one of your moving averages is sitting right there, right at 186 to 185. And again, earnings are next week. 200 days down there at 172 with the bigger, broader, wider picture of everything. So bring you on here to the quick view. Again, looking at this from the beginning of the year on SPX. It's a fucking snaking dead donkey where it's trading in this 200-point range. It would have been nice to have gotten up into that 68, 78 area, but we're there today. We're already here overnight. We'll see how things get going. And again, same view, but looking at it from an Elliott wave and Fibonacci kind of point of view, because again, I am a dinosaur, as I have been told. But these things pay off and they work out. And that's why yesterday it kind of looked perfect. 68.3808, perfect. We've got our 100-day moving average down there at 68.18, which is where our weekly candle is. And again, I personally would not like to see that, because if we get that move down there into that 68.18 and start pushing into the low 6800s, down into the 6700s, that's going to require QQQ getting down there below 600. And I simply, personally, like I've shared, I don't want that. The Dow Jones DIA ETF here, just doing a snake walk. Sideways, going nowhere, nothing to look at, nothing to be worried about. But again, here on the QQQ, you know, it would be really, really nice to get a visit up there at that 609.79 again today. It would be really, really, really nice. However, I don't know the data coming out at 8:30, and like I shared, get that break down below 600 and we start pushing down onto a red week. This is 4 red weeks in a row. I mean, you don't even need to have a chart to start thinking, okay, this thing is really starting to get oversold. And in fact, I'll put it up here for you, because why not? Here is your weekly chart, and there you go. Your weekly is really starting to push down to the low side, which again is what is, you know, a little bit helpful and significant in starting to suggest that, yeah, we are going to get a drop without a shadow of a doubt as we go into March 20 OPEX. But then we're technically going to be set up that whether we like it or not, we're going to wind up getting a bounce off of that. So again, QQQ, the bull's first warning, unchanged, 600. Second warning, still the same, 589, 580, 590. Bears don't start winning until you get a break below 583 and start moving, other than these fucking one-wick visits that you're getting. And there again on the IWM, just euphoria, unbelievable euphoria.
Ah, ça me termine.
This is like having a rave in a fucking trailer park. That's what this IWM plus 250 is. IWM plus 244 is having a rave in a fucking trailer park. I don't have any video clips on that, which if I did have a video clip on that, people would really have to start questioning whether or not I was psychologically capable of being, in public. So here we are with futures as we go into the data, plus 68 over on the YM, plus 83 over on the NQ, plus 16 over here on the ES, and plus 3.5 on the Russell 2000. And again, just so you remember, plus 16 on the ES, we're right there at the 2026 open, rejecting it, which is at 69.02 on the ES. On your SPX, that's your 68.78. Well, futures move a little bit differently, so we're roughly right there around that 68.78, 68.75 area at the highs of the day over here. And again, your data comes out at 8:30, so fuck around and find out, but don't hurt yourself, and I'll be with you until around the mid-morning, call it the EU close, 11:30, and then I'll just check back after the closing bell, because I am not going to burn my eyeballs watching every 1 minute candle after such a successful month, successful year. And I'll catch you guys in the chat room.
I just got 3 things to say. God bless our troops, God bless America, and gentlemen,
Don't fuck it up.